What does death do to your mental health and belief system?
To my mental health, I think it reintroduced us. I think it brought us back together. I was kind of distancing from myself and who I really was, to be honest. And then when I experienced death and loss of a loved one, my mum passed away. Um, I don't know, man. It just really tied everything inside me back up, if that makes sense. And I kind of felt like collectively, for the first time, my emotions were going on a journey from my head to my heart, and felt like that's what, for me, death really is. Or from my heart to my head, like knowing that this person I love is now gone, and they're leaving my heart, but it's floating up to my head to try and make sense of it all.
Yeah.
And somewhere in all this little journey, that journey from the heart, wherever the heart is, from there to there, it's gonna take a lifetime for me to try and understand it.
Yeah.
But as long as I keep trying to understand it, I'll get it. But I think I learned to understand. Um, she only dies if I let myself down. So she only dies if I die.
Yeah.
Now, not me physically dying, but if I've let myself down, that's when she's dead.
Mm.
But until then, she's still with me. Kind of.
Yeah, I see that. For me, I think it changes you. Death changes you. Some people, when I lost my dad coming up to 3 years ago now, and at the time, people say a lot of stuff. You don't really know what's going on because you're trying to work out so many things that are going through your head, like why, how, and trying to learn why you was dealt them cards. Like for me, we get dealt certain cards in life to learn lessons. And so something for me, I'd say what it does to my character, people say it makes or breaks you. I think it does both. It breaks you first, more than you can imagine. Well, everyone you can imagine. And then it makes you, if you learn the lesson that you're supposed to. So
What do you think the lesson that you were meant to learn was?
I'm still learning it. Yeah, I mean, I think until you experience like a loss of, it's different. I think, again, it's really subjective though, because we lost our parents. You lost your mum, right? I lost my dad. So we come at it from a different perspective. But, you know, people who lose their sisters or their sons or daughters, that is a different lesson. For me, especially like my my old man was like an old East End geezer.
You know, it's funny you say that. I used to call my mum the East End Ummi John.
No way.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure they had.
All the bucket good stuff.
So I'm sure they had like similar values in the way that they were brought up, experiences that they shared during their time. And like for me, like as a son, it's strange. Like a lesson that is learned from it is that it's your time to move forward. You know, there's only so far, like for me, that I felt like with the respect that you have to show your parents and where it comes from, there's a lot of your life that you are, or I was leading to some degree for them or to them, to even make my dad proud, to show my dad that I could do something, or like, hey man, yeah, I told you. But when that's stripped away from you, in the weirdest way, there's also something very liberating about it as time passes, I find.
Good. I found it interesting that you said that things then went from your heart to your head or your head to your heart. Do you feel that, so I experienced death, my twin brother passed in 2007, so 11 years ago, this March, and I found that I became more expansive, my view on the world, and so my belief system became way more expansive. Given that, I guess we grow up, especially when you're young, you grow up cultured and just with certain beliefs and these views in the world.
Everything's hunky-dory.
Everything's hunky-dory. Then all of a sudden something like that happens, and your eyes and your mind open up completely, and you look around, you're like, I can now see a bit more clearer now, or I'm at least questioning everything. Things I didn't consider questioning at all before. I'm questioning, and I'm doing it rightly. So my belief system, I found that if it were religion, for example, I grew up very religiously. I went to 2 Roman Catholic schools, primary and secondary, went to a 6th form there. I grew up a Christian, and my family and close friends are all really religious. But then you start asking yourself these questions as to like, oh, if this were, for example, if this were true, then why would X happen? Maybe I prayed or whatever it is. And I don't believe I or maybe anyone has come to the right answer there. It's all a conclusive answer. I think we have our assumptions and we have our opinions, and that's fine. And we choose to live how we do. I just find that I then started to ask myself bigger questions about the world itself and what this may mean. And actually, I don't believe I should be kept on a certain road. I should be open to all roads and maybe help others just not see the lights, but at least consider things more openly.
It does like change the way you look at things though, so instantaneously.
I think it made me numb, and like it made me numb to bullshit. Like honestly, before, if my mates or dad didn't tell me, like I'll be that guy. Like I'm like, oh, you idiot.
You're just like, whatever.
Now I'm just like, you know what? There could be all sorts of things happening in front of me right now, and unless it's affecting me directly or somebody I care about, I care for you. But
not my bag.
It's not my business. I got a hand on my own. You know what's really interesting? I noticed that we all 3 said we lost someone, and not each of us said to the other person, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I find that don't actually do nothing. I think that's just like an awkward thing people say. Like you said you lost your brother. I said I lost my mum. You said you lost your dad. Oh, sorry. So it's like when people normally say that to me, I'm just like, oh, it's cool, man. Like, I don't know what to say.
But it's just because we understand.
You understand. There's this instantaneous understanding amongst people. It's like if you meet anyone that works in your field, there are certain conversations you don't have with them because they just understand. They know. Right? And I think death does it. They always say death brings people closer together. But those people that experience death, whether or not they've just met one another or they've known each other for some time, they just understand and they know.
Yeah. When we talk about coping, I think one thing that really, I say, saved me was writing poetry. So I've always wrote poetry in my entire life, And the funniest thing is that my mum never liked the fact that I wrote poetry, because she didn't think it would make me a living. She didn't think it was. I've got a degree. She was just like, just do that on the side. I was like, no, mum, I want to be a poet, this and that. And towards like her last few days, her death was a sudden death. It wasn't like she wasn't ill or nothing. It just happened like proper suddenly. She was sending my own lyrics back to me. Like I had she'd seen me perform them so many times now. She used to say things to me like, "My name is Mum," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Oh, wow, you're actually a funny guy. Like you're a joker. Like, how you quoting this back to me?" Anyway, when she died, I really thought like, if I was really about what I say I'm about, I need to take this, what she's given me, this pain that she's partnered me with, because like she wanted me to have an arranged marriage, and so like in my head, this is my arranged marriage. Is with the pain you've given me. And if I can learn to live with this pain and nurture it and grow it, I'm able to help other people that are going to go through a similar thing. Because regardless of who you are, if you think you're inevitable from it, it's going to catch you. And you could be the best fighter in the world, the strongest, biggest, baddest person, but it's the hook you ain't looking at that will knock you out. And for me, it was that last conversation I had with her was, she asked me to get her a pizza. And I said, all right, cool. And I said, here's £20. Gave her the £20 and she goes, I don't actually want your money. I just wanted to see if my son would have given me it. She goes, take your money back. And I go, you're excited, And then I just left. I go, you're dramatic. And then I just left. But in my head, I thought, wow, imagine if I never gave her that £20. Imagine when I offered to give it. So that's how I cope. Be interesting to hear. Well, that's how I'm coping. If I'm even allowed to say that, because my friends might watch this and be like, that brother ain't coping. That brother, man.
You can't I think you're forever coping with it. It's something that I think numb is the best way is the wrong way to put it, but it's That's a great way of explaining the feeling. And I think like it's a feeling that instead of like, for me, coping isn't necessarily, oh, everything's going to be great. Because it's not, because my old man ain't here no more. Like it's different. Like life is different. It sends you on paths that you didn't really want to go down, think you'd go down, because sometimes you just get dealt them, like I said, dealt them cards. You have no choice of doing stuff like. But I think like when it comes to coping, it's like you say, like you if they're dead when you're dead, really. It's a strange one, because I cope now. I did something totally different to you. I was like making music at the time. I was producing. I ran a studio. And my dad was an incredibly acute businessman. I was never really a businessman. I never thought about it. Like 9 to 5 to me, like, man, that's just not my character. I can't do that. But there was something about that I felt, especially like, I mean, my dad died over quite a long period. It wasn't a long period of time, but I knew he was going. So for me, like, there was some kind of coping mechanism going on beforehand, or, well, actually, I tell a lie there. A lot of him died the day that he told me, I'm dying in 6 months, man, that's going. That's when he died to me. But moving forward, like, I took a completely changed direction totally. Something that I never thought I'd do or ever go into. But it's something that strange, weirdly, I mean, we were speaking before about how opportunities just come up in times when you don't expect them to. That, you know, it does make you think, oh yeah, they're here, or however you want to envisage it, you know. But I took, and it was completely unplanned. I almost stopped making music. I felt so detached from it because there was a part of me that my dad had a very similar view to your mum. Oh, come on, man! Like, get up! Like, you know, go and do something that's gonna really earn you some money. Like, come work for me. He was a lawyer, and that wasn't me. I was like, no, this is me. This is me. So there was always an element of, I need to prove this to you. And now I've been stripped away from that. It's strange because I went into the business side of music almost imminently after. Really weird. And that helped me cope in a lot of ways, because this numbness that is there also creates a calmness, I believe, inside you. I mean, I'm a little bit further. How long did you lose your brother?
So 11 years ago, but I guess he was sick for, must have been eight months or so.
Wow.
Yeah, about 8-9 months. And then but during certain processes, sick, you get better. Sick, you get better, then you're much better. Then something just flips. And you're like, oh. And nothing registers until afterwards, and maybe not even immediately afterwards, sometimes way later.
This is the thing, like, I think, like, 11 years, you're 11 years, you're 7 months, I'm coming up to 3. So you're fairly early still. You're way wiser than I am now, because it's something that it also grows with you. This pain and the numbness, it's all character building. I've felt that I've come on a hell of a long way since he was diagnosed. But the numbness, like, actually creates a resilience in character that makes you look at the world different, makes you go and say, hey, yeah, like, not worry about that guy, like, saying this, that, the other, because it's petty bullshit. It's not, but it is in some way. And I think only until you learn this, that's when it happens.
You know what, yeah, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm mad proud of you.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, I just don't. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
bless you, man.
especially
you two.
Both of you, what you were saying about your dad being this acute businessman and you was in the music world, but immediately afterwards you almost went into music management. You took that element.
It's crazy how that energy shifted.
Yeah, he's with you. He's with you,
100%.
like 100%.
But it's the same thing with you, right? That you said, oh, your mum was like, oh, this poetry thing, and you took that energy that the energy she wanted to apply elsewhere, you took it and you just amplified.
But you know what's
took it to
so
poetry and
funny
amplified
when you
it.
say, yeah, my poetry before my mum passed away was always about like mental health and stuff. And there was a part of me that felt like there was no substance.
Yes.
And then the moment she died, I'm writing about cultural oppression, I'm writing about suppression, I'm writing about females from like South Asian countries who don't have a voice, and I'm like, all these things, then the gates of like my writing world just flooded open.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
I feel there's an element of that because subconsciously there's nothing to prove anymore, Hussain.
It's true.
In the most I don't know how to explain.
When you say it like that, it's actually very, very, very sad. It is actually very sad.
And how we view the world more openly, I think we look at problems differently. So we said the problems that some of our friends may discuss here and there. I've got this issue with you or with this because of X and Y. and every problem's different and every problem's of different sides to different people. And that's fine, and we should appreciate that as well. But I think that's what death does. It gives you just a more open and bigger appreciation for everything, right? And I now look at problems across the world and I go, that's a big issue. I look at problems here. If an individual experiences a problem, I'm like, actually, we shouldn't dismiss it. If someone's going through that, it's important we understand it.
But you know what? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I find I have a very low tolerance level to problems I don't consider actual problems.
Yeah,
that's why I laughed, because like if someone comes to me and they're like, I'm like, all right, cool, what's good? They're just like, oh, like,
I was meant to go out tonight, but I'm not going anymore or something.
There you go. I'm like, God, bad. That's right. Next, like, I ain't got time for this. I'm just trying to like emotionally. I'm just trying to benefit my emotional system, and that's like a very selfish thing to say. But you know what? I need to do it, because if I'm not gonna do it for me, ain't no one else gonna come do it for me. Because the person that loved me more than I loved myself is no longer here. So I have to like advance at a rapid pace. I wrote a quote about it. I said like, intense pain can cause emotional intelligence, which can lead to intense growth. But it's really just down to you as a person if you allow that to happen to yourself.
Yeah, I feel like me coping. I think when my brother died, I was still in school, and I was in sixth form.
He was your twin as well.
Yeah, my twin. So I guess everyone in our area and at school and the community knew us as twins, and they knew who we were individually, but you see a set of twins and one of the few sets of twins around, and we were mixed race growing up, first generation in a predominantly white area then. So if you were a person of colour, you were you were definitely a minority then. So if there were a set of twins around, people knew the twins no matter their age. So him passing, that people would say to me, there was a friend at school that said to me, like, I want you to fill this hole. You almost fill this hole that he leaves in my heart. And it's like, when that happens, I almost felt like a personal responsibility to fill this hole for her and for everyone almost around me. My friends and my family and my community, they were great. They were great support. So how I coped, I undecidedly, almost or consciously undecidedly, went into this perpetual state of support where I just started supporting all those around me, if it were my immediate family. Especially my mum, my brothers. Everyone was super upset, of course, but it was my job then to almost like try not to cry all the time or try not to be overly upset, because if they saw me like that, it would be almost like, is he going as well? Because they were basically one. So if half's gone, what's happening to him? So I had to stay in this perpetual state of support.
That's got to be like, I couldn't imagine going through that. Like,
because that's literally your other half.
That's literally your other half. Like, ours is the next step up. Yours is next to. Yeah, next to. Like that. Like, big respect there, man. Like, that's.
Yeah.
I think the pain. Honestly, I think the pain's the same. I think it's this person that there are only a few people that are going to love you as much as you love them, or love you more, and it's those people. It's your mother, your father, your twin, like a sibling you're close to. And I think the pain's the same. That's why the understanding's the same, right? That's why the respect's the same amongst people. And so me coping has just been, and maybe I'm still doing it now, in this state of support. I was always happy to speak to people about anything they want to speak about. I'd gain a very deep and wide understanding of the world. and look at problems differently. Those problems we discussed and we touched on. They're problems to some people. They are problems. They're everyday problems, but there are much bigger problems in the world. And I was always, I guess my trajectory in the world of business or startups was probably going to go down that same path, but the pace at which it accelerated at, the rate at which I grew as a person, how I matured, that was
no choice.
Do you know why I think it is? Yeah, because you're now representing them.
100%.
Yeah,
and you've got to deliver something. We find meaning immediately. We find meaning immediately, and that death becomes a catalyst for us almost.
Yeah,
it's been the catalyst of my life, man.
Like everywhere I go now, like I conduct myself so well. I keep, I keep my mannerisms about me. I keep my composure. You could like punch me up, slap me in the face. I'll say, you know what, bro, you win. You win, like because it's cool.
And it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Yeah, I just think. It was good. It was good to meet you, lot, man. I think
super good to meet you guys.
Very proud of us.
Yeah, man.
Yes, I'm proud of the two.
And it's weird how.
I don't want to just say this for the sake of saying it as well, yeah. But I just feel like I think you've become everything that like he would have wanted you to do, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Because like, and just make sure you're there for yourself as well.
That's what's important.
Because I feel like all three of us, like especially you, are like very like extroverted. Like, I don't think you're that extroverted. I feel like you're very extroverted. So we're naturally there for other people, comforting their pain. But it's when we're by ourselves that knock of sadness comes for us. That's when it's bad.
Yeah, man. It's always yeah. I hear that.
Would there be any if you met someone tomorrow who just experienced someone passing in their lives? What would be the one piece of advice you'd have for them?
Well,
I wouldn't give them then. I'd say I got you, like you said before, like that.
Well, do you know one thing I noticed? Yeah, that like the way you can help somebody, go to their house, help them do their washing up.
Yep.
Put toilet paper in their toilet, get them fresh towels, clean their bed sheets, do stuff like that because they're the things that when you lose somebody that's in you that you live with, like they're the things that you go to the toilet, there's no toilet paper. Shit. They wouldn't never happen. Toothpaste. Not saying my mum was a slave and like she did all the housework, but she ran the show. So because of that, like when someone who's running the empire goes, everything crumbles. So I'd say like it's the domestic stuff for the first couple of days to help that because you're not thinking through. Regardless of what you think you're thinking, you're not.
Your mum and dad together?
Yeah.
How like mine were separated.
Yeah.
But how is it like? What's your relationship like with your dad?
So me and my mum were close, man.
Yeah.
Like, very close. Like my stage name is the original Mummy's Boy. So
really?
So it's like when she passed away, like I see my dad doesn't talk a lot.
Don't you even think that in itself, the fact that that's your stage name, all encompasses with this lesson that you're learning?
Yeah,
and you've been
100%. And
like that was preempted before.
And all of a sudden the world's round and it all makes sense only to you. You know, it only makes sense. Yeah. I try to call some of my boys up and they're at work. They're like, "What?" But I'm like, "Bro, did you clock in my first mixtape when I dropped it? I spoke about my mum dying." They're like, "Oh, you're excited." I'm like, "No, but you're right. Like, everything makes sense when you look back." But yeah, my relationship with my dad is good. It'll never be what I had with my mum. No. But I'm working on it. I try and call him every day. Good. Even though it's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's like, but you know what? If I can chat here and talk to you lot, how dare I not go home and speak to the people I'm with?
You know, man. You know I rate you in a lot of ways because, like...
No, don't gas me.
No, because... gas him. Gas him. He deserves it. I think your old dear is always going to be your old dear. She's the one that brought you into the world and nurtured you and looked after you. Like for me, there's one thing that I actually have taken from my dad's death. Like I got along with my dad, but your dad's your dad. Like it's not your mum. I have taken from it preparation, really, for when that day does come. Yeah, it's true. When my mum does. I don't know where I'd be if my mum went first, man.
It's very interesting you say that. My mum died quite young. And her mum died when she was young.
How old?
49. So, and her mum died when she was quite young. But my mum always used to say to me, and my siblings, if I die, cry and get over it. Cry and get over it. That's what I had to do. That's what you're going to have to do. Just cry and get over it. So the moment she died, I was like, I already know what to do. I'm gonna go upstairs, I'm gonna lock myself, I'm gonna get over it.
Yeah.
That's exactly, because Emma will be like, oh, what would she have said if she was still here? I'm like, I already know.
Yep.
She already told me. Yeah. And I just went into project manager mode, organising the funeral, dealing with all of this stuff.
That's it. You got to do it.
The breakdown moment came. I was in my house and somebody picked up a piece of cutlery. And that's, you know, you got certain cutlery you just don't touch. Yeah, that's my mum's cutlery, bro. Don't touch that. I was like, put the mum down, man. And then it all came out like, it was like 4 days afterwards. It all just. Yeah. But I was happy it did, and I'm happy I can like talk about it like this.
It's good that you can. I think everybody needs to. Everybody needs to when time's right.
When I sell out the O2, I'm gonna call it Mama I Made It.
Good.
Good quote exclusive.
And a discount code for tickets.
Keep walking, bro.
Oh man.